There are over 200 bodies of water here in the Lake District. But any guesses how many lakes there are? The answer is 1. And every time people come to visit, that's a trick question we ask them. The other big ones are actually waters, like Ullswater, or meres, like Thirlmere. Then they typically respond, "What's a tarn and a mere and a water? What's the difference?" And we don't know.
We don't know, so we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. So we plotted a route to a lake, a mere and a water, thinking we could solve the mystery along the way. In actual fact, we'd end up more confused the further we went, on a ride that became much, much harder than expected.
Okay.
Yeah, we got this.
We've got this.
But would have a surprise of geomagnetic proportions to guide us home. Getting brighter and brighter and brighter. This is crazy. This is how it all unfolded. Have you got your towel?
Yes.
Have you got your swimming costume?
Yes.
You got your chamois cream?
Yes.
Okay.
And swim shoes.
And swim shoes. You got your swim shoes?
Yeah, the height of luxury.
It was the middle of May and the hottest day of the year so far. The landscape almost completely back to life with bushy hedgerows, lanes filled with wild garlic, fields filled with young lamb and cow's parsley rocketing towards any sunlight it could get. So they're big bits of water, they're very obvious to see, but it's not always so obvious
How to get to
actually
swim.
get to a place where we can swim. We were just 10 miles in and had already come off route. Now instead just trying to bushwhack our way towards water. It's no longer winter.
It's beautiful.
Whoa, I'm pulling my phone.
It's really beautiful.
Let's see.
Oh god, I can't. Stop.
Hay fever aside, we're approaching swim number 1 in apparently the Lake District's only lake. First one.
First one.
So I dove in, now technically having swum in every lake in the Lake District. But we were still unsure what made it any different from all the others. It wasn't size because some of the meres and waters were bigger. And this used to be called basin water too, which added to the confusion. Etymology aside, it was overlooked by our loved northern fells, and was an important place for wildlife too, including nesting ospreys, Atlantic salmon, and us pasty swim cyclists. Oh god. So you know that fact that we tell everyone
What fact?
that Basingthwaite's the only lake?
Yeah.
It's not true.
Oh. So what are the other lakes?
Every single person that's come here, that's been our little gimmicky fact that Basingthwaite is the only lake. Technically there are more lakes in the Lake District, however Basingthwaite is the only one to have the word lake in its title. So the rest instead are regarded as tarns, meres or waters. This was a journey of discovery after all, and hopefully it would make more sense once we'd reached the water and a mere. So now we're off to something which I'm pretty sure is not a lake.
Okay, let's hope so.
Find out. So a little break from the ride to tell you about BetterHelp, who are the paid partners of this video.
Yeah, so mental health is actually a bigger part of both of our lives than it may seem. I have worked on a mental health crisis line for quite a few years now, and we both started getting into the outdoors in our early 20s to prioritise our mental health and our well-being.
So I started getting anxiety completely out of the blue in my early 20s, and like Sarah said, that really was probably one of the biggest things which pushed us into creating an outdoorsy lifestyle. But it did take a really long time for me to get to know what helped and hindered things. And gradually I learned to manage things through outdoor pursuits and spending time in nature, through mindfulness, and also through talking therapy. And it definitely didn't seem natural to start with, but I've really learned that actually talking about things and opening up about stuff helps so much, and it really does make a big difference.
And that's where BetterHelp can come in. They can match you with an accredited therapist who can help you to talk through your issues and anything that's going on.
You can do it on the phone or on the computer, and you can chat with a phone call or a video call or through messaging too. You're usually matched within 48 hours with a therapist who's trained in the struggles that you're going through, and you can do it all from the comfort of your own home by visiting betterhelp.com/Josh and Sarah Ride, and this will give you a discounted first month. Or you can just, on the sign up process on their website, you can just add Josh and Sarah Ride as you do so.
Okay, back to the ride.
We set back off, aware it might not be such a clear-cut answer after all, and also realising our simple cycle might be harder than expected. It was now well into the afternoon. We were just 20 miles into a 65-mile day, and looking towards looming peaks, we were approaching the first tough climb. Our route was weaving us through the secluded Newlands Valley, past small farms in the midst of lambing season and bee-laden trees, towards Newlands Pass. Hardest climb I've done in a very long time. But these views are absolutely beautiful. First big climb, and at the bottom waits for us lunch.
And a dip.
And dip number 2.
Yeah.
And if this isn't a mere, I don't know what is a mere. Looking across to Grisdale Pike and Grassmoor, 2 stunning peaks. The descent was made even better knowing lunch and a swim spot waited at the end. I'm very ready for lunch. I'll be honest, these signs were throwing us off. But by this point, just so long as there was some type of swimmable water at the end, we'd be happy. You good?
Good.
Well, it's a lot colder. I don't know if it's because we were really hot, but
And then we'll come down quite a bit, I think.
yeah, actually. So this is we've done a lake, a mere,
This is a mere.
and we're onto a water, we think. So we didn't have signal to check, but Buttermere was definitely a mere. It's all in the name, right? We did know the name came from Old English, meaning lake by the dairy pastures, because this Buttermere Valley was particularly fertile. Then you had the bigger water, Crummock Water, separated by just a mile of land, and a much smaller Loweswater a bit further on. So in such close proximity there had to be a geographical difference. Maybe how the water fed in and out? That was our logic anyway. Hopefully we'd find out along the way. But this is one of my favourite places that I think we've swum in the lakes, besides kind of Tarns up in the hills, but it's really, really beautiful.
Because it really feels like you're surrounded by hills here. It's really beautiful.
And although it's quite busy outside of kind of all along the roads, the village is busy, the coffee shop was really busy.
Here it
feels like there's no one around.
empty.
It's amazing. It's actually also, we left before 11, it's now 4:40, so we've been going for nearly 6 hours.
So I reckon we're about halfway?
We're the furthest point from home,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, we'll see.
it took some real willpower to drag ourselves away from these cool waters and the shade, particularly knowing a grueling climb was waiting for us. But time really was getting on, and we still had some pretty big miles to cover. Our problem is we get very distracted by our surroundings, which makes it pretty hard to cover much ground. So small. We'd slowly accepted it was just going to be a much later night than we'd anticipated. These views are absolutely incredible. Look at this. Okay, you ready?
Kind of. Bit nervous.
We take on Honister Pass. I'd say it never fills you with confidence when you can just see what looks like a kind of flat wall ahead of you. And you know that to get where you need to go, you have to climb over that. This felt like a particularly intimidating climb, with a thin track road snaking straight through the middle of the valley, sheer walls of rock surrounding you on either side. Tough, yes, but pretty damn inspiring at the same time. It's amazing, it's like a coliseum of rock around us. It's amazing, either side, it's just wow. Round two.
Round two. I'm hot. It's hot. I'm sweaty.
Made it to the top of Honister Pass.
Made it.
Almost in one piece?
Yeah, it was nice when it was in the shade, and then the really steep bit coming out of the shade was tough.
It was heavy. Once again, a swim lay at the bottom of a thundering descent, but our energy was seriously sapped. Even going downhill felt like slow work. 8 hours of riding, not much past a halfway mark, and glad our final swim was in sight. So we've made it to final swim spot in what I think is a water. The whole educational aspect of it has kind of gone out the window. But ready? So we didn't have signal, we didn't know what we were swimming in, but whether it was a lake, a mere, a water or anything in between, this day had shown us how lucky we were to have them. and as gifts from an ice age thousands of years ago. How heartbreaking it is the state we've let them get into. Here in England, only 16% of water is considered ecologically good, with such high levels of pollution that wildlife has plummeted and many treasured swimming spots are no longer considered safe. And even if their names have got muddled along the way, they've been enjoyed by generations, so it's our responsibility to make sure they can be enjoyed for generations to come. We've been connected.
Yeah.
Buttermere. Second one. What is Buttermere?
You tell me, what is Buttermere?
Buttermere's a lake.
Is it? Oh no.
Okay. Derwent Water's also a lake.
Oh my god.
We've been shortchanged. Mere versus water. What is the difference? Nothing. They are just historic names given at different periods and deriving from different languages. The only name which does indicate something different is a tarn, which indicates a small mountain lake rather than a large valley one. Otherwise, there's absolutely no distinction between lake, mere and water. But really, did we come on this ride to find out, or did we come on this ride to just go for a cycle and hurt my knee?
And go for a swim. There's been some beautiful swims.
There's been some beautiful swims.
So technically it is a mere, and technically this is a water, because that is just a name that makes it a water or a mere.
Yeah.
There's nothing kind of like physical.
So that was a lake, a mere and a water,
Yeah.
or a lake on a lake. The long and short of it is, there are 16 or 17 lakes by definition, but only one by name, Bassenthwaite Lake, our first swimming spot. They've all changed names now through the years, and though a mere is sometimes used to describe a shallow body of water, in the Lake District that wasn't always accurate. But if I'm honest, it was all boggling our already frazzled minds. The sun was setting across this water, which was also a lake, and we still had a journey to go. So what's a mere?
A mere is a lake.
And what's a water?
A water is a lake, but they were named at different points in history.
And what's a lake?
A lake is a lake. Let's go.
The waters had been rejuvenating, but it was now 8:30. Lights on.
Lights are on.
We still had 20 hilly miles to ride, and we were both questioning how we ever thought this would be an easy day. We got water, we got a little bit of food.
Yeah.
My front light is dying already. How you doing?
I'm knackered. I'm really knackered.
So we're back on the Colombian energy blocks. We've got about 13 miles?
Yeah. That's not long.
9:30. So it's 10.5 hours.
What a nice night.
Can't see it, but lovely moon. You! About 5 or 6 miles, maybe 6 or 7. Actually, I think it's maybe about 7 or 8. But we are getting there. We're getting there slowly. Feeling we're working as a team. My knee feels pretty bulbous, but it's still pushing. Sarah's doing good. She's got a nice saddle sore. She's got a battery pack, so my front light is working, and filled up some water. Got another Colombian energy block and a half, and yeah, we're gonna make it. How you feeling, Rider 2?
We can do this.
Can do this. Very clear, super clear night. Really still. It feels like there's no one else in the world at the moment. We got this.
We've got this.
Last little push. Front light has failed me. Nearly there. Come on, legs. Come on, knee. You've done so good. So good. We were exhausted, dehydrated, and crawling along at a snail's pace. My front bike light was flickering on and off along these empty back roads, and we ended up pretty disorientated. Wobbling around, I start to notice swirling colours above me, pinching into some kind of vortex in the sky. We've definitely overdone it. Maybe I'm hallucinating. But Sarah's ahead, leading the way with our one light, and she is also swaying around whilst peering up into the sky. Finally, I pull over and shout, "Are you seeing this too?" It's absolutely amazing.
It's incredible.
Like the sky is like illuminated, and it just seems to be getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Oh man, it's like there's like a. This is crazy. With no idea it was forecasted, and in our disorientated state, it was one of the most mesmerizing but surreal moments of our lives. We ended up pretty bewildered, but guided home the last few miles by the northern lights. Something we easily could have missed, so we have our tough ride to thank for keeping us out much, much later than expected. It's 11:30.
We made it.
That is 12 and a half hours.
That was long.
It's
That wasn't meant to be long.
meant to be an easy cycle.
I'm so glad to be home.
Why did we think it's going to be easy cycle? I don't even know.
I thought all along. That was tough.
Gotta be the loudest cows I think I've ever heard.
Yeah. They are. That's it. I'm so cream crackered. I'm really.
12 and a half hours.
That was meant to be
What?
chilled.
You said it's meant to be easy
What's
road.
that be?
There's a horsefly.
Is it?
Time is 1:30. Just had a little bite to eat.
Shower.
That was not intended to be a hard ride.
But it turned out being quite hard ride.
Yeah, so we
hard dome.
swam in a lake at Tarnamere.
A lake, a mere and a water, but it turns out they're all lakes.
We were both a bit delirious, and
Weren't sure if we were seeing things, but yeah,
and it's
we
like,
saw
oh yeah,
Aurora.
beautiful aurora.
It was amazing.
Um,
But thank you for watching.
and thank you all to our Patreon supporters. There's some more information about that and
Massive
link
thank you to them.
below, and we will catch you in the next video, and the next one will be a little bit easier. I think we need it. Bye.
Bye.